Thank you, Cindy, for your kind words.
Sister Maureen, thank you as well. Bishop Scharfenberger, thank you for being with us. Senator Breslin, Mayor Sheehan, etc., Board of Trustees, Friends of Holy Names, Sisters of the Holy Names who are here with us today. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And happy feast day, everybody. As we've heard multiple times now, today is the feast of the Holy Name of Mary. It's a special feast day for the Sisters of the Holy Names of Jesus and Mary, who sponsor our beloved institution and who have supported the educational mission at Academy of the Holy Names here in Albany for 134 years. How providential, not coincidental, providential, that we announce this new initiative on this feast day, because the project speaks to the heart and the core of the mission of the sisters and of the school. Education as liberating action for the full development of the human person. Let's take that in again. Education as liberating action for the full development of the human person. We've been true to that mission here for well over a century, reinterpreting it for each new generation of students, as Sister Maureen pointed out, who have crossed our threshold. Lest Marie Rose de Rocher, the founders of the Sisters of the Holy Names, believed in tomorrow, but she also believed in today. She was a woman of her time, and she saw the needs of her time and courageously addressed them by liberating her students from the shackles of ignorance, poverty, and oppression. One of her favorite sayings, in addition to the one that Sister Maureen quoted before, was a powerful, passionate promise to change the world. I have come to cast fire upon the earth, and would that it were already kindled. I've come to cast fire upon the earth, and would that it were already kindled. The passion of that vow is reflected in the empowering message of our capital campaign: invest, inspire, ignite. So let's take a moment to take apart that tagline a little bit. Pardon the English teacher in me. From its etymology or its roots, invest means literally to clothe in. Education of young women clothes them with the power of knowledge and of love. From its roots, inspire means literally to breathe into. Education breathes into young women an animating, active spirit. From its roots, ignite means to set on fire. Education enkindles in students a passion to set the world on fire. It did in us when we were young too, and hopefully still does. A Holy Names education has always invested in, inspired, and ignited its students. And we certainly have ample proof of that in the amazingly talented and committed alumni who continue to exert a positive influence in every corner of the world in which they find themselves. But as always, as it moves into the future, Holy Names must be agile, as was Mother Marie Rose as well, in responding to the needs of the generation of learners, this generation of learners. And I tell you, it's a generation far different from any other, and far different from ours. Those of us who are adults in the room. There's a revolution happening in education today. And moving confidently into the future presupposes that a school understand and embrace the vast changes in education that are on our doorstep. This revolution in education, fueled by technology and also by the needs of the 21st century workplace, calls all previous assumptions about what's worth knowing into question. Why should a student memorize or hold a piece of information in her head when she can Google it and have it at her fingertips, as we all do? We know that there are still certainly some things that students need to be fluent in, that need to be carried up here. But there's a whole lot that schools have in their curriculums that does not need to be held in a young person's head. This amazing mechanism, this thing we call our intellect, this God-given gift, was meant for far more than memorization. Humans are problem solvers, dynamic users of knowledge, rather than static repositories of knowledge. The complex problems of this century require for their solution all of the problem-solving skills that we can muster. And so this new vision for education that we're speaking of today puts an active learner in an interactive, resource-rich learning environment where she's presented with an authentic problem to solve. Authentic, not 2 geese plus 3 geese equals 5 geese, or what does it equal, right? She'll be presented with that authentic problem to solve, and she'll learn to ask the questions that will empower her to discover one or many workable solutions. What an exciting time this is to be a student, a young woman at Academy of the Holy Names. Right? Yes. In keeping with the school's commitment to the full development of the human person and leadership for women, our students here will enjoy academic and extracurricular programs that are customized for them, the active learners, so that they can become the best version of themselves, young women confident of their abilities to lead by discovering solutions that will impact the world. I believe that. They will be flexible thinkers, invaluable not only to the 21st century workforce, but honestly to any endeavor that excites their passion. In order to bring to life this dream of a new model for education that will provide its students with an outstanding, future-focused educational experience, AHN needs the resources, both human and financial, and the facilities to make it real. This new generation of students can't be educated in the same rooms that we all were 100 years ago. You understand my meaning. And so our Invest, Inspire, Ignite campaign will do just that, bring us the resources that we need. So the reconstruction of the North Classroom wing that David spoke of, and the safety and aesthetic improvements to the entrance and facade will be the beginning of a multi-phase project to provide our students, these young women who are in front of us and in the back too, who are our pride and our joy, will be the beginning of a multi-phase project to provide our students with updated facilities that reflect our vision for education. In his groundbreaking book, Blueprint for Tomorrow, Redesigning Schools for Student-Centered Learning, Prakash Nair establishes 4 principles of design for schools. They need to be welcoming. What more could be in the tradition of the Holy Names? They need to be versatile. They need support various learning activities, small group, large group, project-based, lecture, and send positive messages about activity and behavior. Positive messages, positive for these young women. These new spaces at Holy Names will enable students to use multiple areas for individual study and team collaboration. Technology integration will allow students unfettered access to the wireless network for class projects and internet research. Well-designed spaces will facilitate teacher collaboration as well, and unobstructed views of the outdoors and access to enclosed courtyards will give students the opportunity for connecting with the outdoors and with nature. Together, I know we can make this vision a reality. I know we can. My heart is filled with gratitude to those who have already so generously supported this campaign with their leadership gifts, and they were noted by David in his remarks. And I'm grateful for the really tireless work of Nora Ratinsky, our Director of Institutional Advancement, in so ably shepherding these gifts and, of course, preparing this event as well. Our hands are committed to the work that still needs to be done. In a reflection at a school day prayer service a while ago, our campus minister made the point that the kindnesses and acts of generosity from the people that we meet leave footprints on our hearts. I thought about that often in the days since that prayer service. I believe that my heart bears the impression of so many Holy Names footprints, placed there over the decades, reminding me of the goodness and the generosity extended to me and to our school by students, teachers, families, and benefactors through God's grace and blessing. One would expect one's heart to be very heavy indeed with so many footprints on it over so many years. On the contrary, and probably paradoxically, my heart's full, not heavy, full of memories of each graduate, each family, each teacher that I have known, full of gratitude for each one, and honestly full of passion to carry that legacy forward and to be true to it. So I invite all of you to join me in this effort on behalf of our students, those we have with us now, and those in the generations to come. Let's leave our footprints on their hearts. Thank you.